very much obliged.
Yeah.
My friends call me, but you might know me as Slime.
Into the night, they all unwind and scatter words.
Like a creeper's head if he was dead of being beheaded by guillotine.
Photosensitivity warning. Flashing lights and colours ahead. Hey quirky questers, it's me, Letha. Not Letha. You may notice I'm a piece of paper on a kebab stick, but there's a good reason for it. Well, okay fine, it's a shit reason, but regardless, a reason. I haven't posted in 2 months.
He fell off.
And I want to get a little something out for you all this weekend. Unless I post this after this weekend, in which case feel free to bully me for my abhorrent non-animated form. Anyway, I'm just going to chat a bit about these 3 map parts and I'll leave you alone. Alone, sad and cold. So firstly, DeepDown, hosted by the fabulous Toxic Toxicities, which I made part 3 for. Okay, so I feel like this happens every time I make any animation, but there's always at least one version which I just despise, and this is it. This is the first storyboard I did. The sketches were okay, I think. I'll put them on screen. But the digitalized version of those sketches is just abhorrent. It's just look at it. It's disgusting. I mean, okay, it's fine. It's mainly how I drew Moon. It's just pissing me off, and I don't know why I did that. I think I was trying to, get closer to Toxic's like references, which are like really beautiful and stunning. But I can't draw, so it just is like an uncanny middle point between my style and like a more like realistically proportioned iterator, and it just is just stop. So I redid this again. Alright, so then I did this version, which I think is a big improvement on the previous one. I think Moon looks a lot better and it's a lot more visually appealing than the other one. After the rough animation was sorted out, I basically just did the regular process, line art, more line art, colour, more colour. It was all pretty easy to do. The only part which was a bit finicky was just doing her tattoos. And just to toot my own horn just a little bit, I do think the background turned out quite nice. As someone who sucks complete balls at drawing any kind of thing that's not like a slug cat, I think it went quite well. Last thing I did was just did a tiny bit of editing, like minuscule. I just added some stock snow effects and a little wiggle to the camera, and that was done. Moving on to the real Slime Shady map, hosted by the equally fabulous Dun and Knight, which, by the way, is still open and is beginner friendly. I would highly implore you to join, as it would be awesome to see it completed. But moving on to my parts, I made 2 parts for this map, part 6 and part 25. This map is boarded and scripted. Both of them are scripted, actually, which I don't think I mentioned, but this one also has visual aids to go along with it. For part 6, I stayed pretty close to the storyboard, only kind of shifting the Symbiote side to side, but what I wanted to do was really push the expressions with the character. He has no mouth, well, no visible mouth, so you really only had the eyes and the body language to work with, so I wanted to push that as much as I could to show his evilness. Of course, the Symbiote is a pretty gnarly character, they're pretty villainous, but I did want to inject my kind of silliness into it, so I kind of went for the angle of just being comedically evil, which I also think, fits with the song, like it's really exaggerated. Honestly, in both maps, I kind of wanted to try and push the stylistic choices more. Like, I didn't want to copy one-to-one the references, which I think is a big reason why I didn't like that initial storyboard I did. I think it's pretty obvious that I added, like, his back tentacles after the fact, because they're almost too smooth. It's kind of distracting how fluidly they move. Because I just animated them on ones straight ahead and just had them wiggle, like, uniquely the whole time, like there's no looping or anything. And I think it's kind of noticeable, but in a good way, because it's kind of unsettling. And I think it works with how much they're moving. It's like, ugh, it's kind of disgusting, but it makes sense because he's like a little freak, isn't it? One happy little accident that did happen though. I exported this as a GIF just to share on my server, and the colours actually glitched and changed the line art to a dark blue rather than the black that it initially was. And I decided to keep that. I just thought it looked really cool, so I kept that dark navy colour instead of the black. In part 25, I strayed a lot further from the initial storyboard provided. I didn't take things away, but I added things that weren't there initially. like instead of backing away from the jungle slug cat, I added the symbiote pushing him away just because I thought I feel like that's something he would do. So I added that. And the other thing I added was I thought, you know, since he's pulling his head off, that might be a bit strenuous, so I just added him doing like a goofy little stretch. And then yeah, basically everything was the same. I did the line art, coloured it in with the dark blue, and yeah. Also, can you tell this video is completely unscripted apart from the start? Terrible non-existent scripting aside, before I love you and leave you, I'd like to say a big thanks to my patrons. Gargantuan thank you to Rancid Reverent, Axicos, Sniper Shark, The Orpa, Chipsfish, Cousin Sean, Anomulanus, Yoshim, Mystic Rascal, Calibri, HS Chem, Frank Fontaine, Villa, Jupiter, Opashu, Casey Dodger, Dimitri Pia, Val, Ike Pike, Yuval, Whatever X Equals, Star of the Storm, Sorrel Napalm, Cubicle Cream, Koyo Tears, A Frightened Sloth, Ash Martin, BV, and Rivulet. Thank you to these lovely, lovely people. If you'd like to join them, do that. I'd appreciate it. I would appreciate it. I post sneak peeks and stuff on my Patreon, like works in progress kind of things. And also I'd like to say thank you for watching this video, and thank you for being very, very patient with me and in between videos, because I know I disappear randomly and everyone thinks I've died. So yeah, appreciate you, appreciate my patrons, and I will see you in the next video. Farewell.